This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Thursday, the 20th day of November in the year 2025. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here is what we're tracking tonight. President Irfan Ali has blasted the European Union Election Observer Mission over its final report on the 2025 elections in Guyana, which found that there was undue advantage of incumbency, leading to an uneven playing field during the September 1 elections. The president is now questioning the independence of the local staff hired by the Election Observer Mission and their possible influence on the final report. The president weighed in on the EU Election Observer Mission's report hours after the government was presented with a copy of that same report by the mission's chief observer, Robert Bedron, and team. While pointing out that a number of the Election Observer Missions found that this year's elections were free and fair due to the effective management of the elections by the Elections Commission, President Ali said it was important to address the findings of the EU Election Observer Mission, which he deemed to be unfair and far from the truth, particularly in regards to criticism of the ruling People's Progressive Party. He questioned the Election Observer Mission adherence to international practices in the hiring of local staff, suggesting that they are politically aligned and therefore lack independence.
If you go through some of the staff that were hired in this process by the EU, their own staff, that influenced the outcome of the report, you would have to question those persons' independence because they're associated with or are in association with persons who would have expressed partisan positions on many issues.
All of the International Election Observer Missions hired local staff members. However, those local staff members were not involved in the compilation or writing of the election reports. The EU had one of the largest election observer missions in the country for the elections, with its international observers spread across the country for several weeks leading up to election day. The EU election observers found that the country's election was peaceful and well run, but took place in a context of deep political polarization. It said the undue advantage by the incumbency had created an unlevel playing field. But according to the president, it was ridiculous to suggest that the ruling party had an undue advantage when compared to the other 5 parties that contested the elections. According to the president, the mission's criticism of the PPP Civic is not based on facts.
Now, the reports speak about uneven playing field and undue advantage by incumbency, which I find ridiculous, to say the least. First of all, this comment is not based on any facts. It is based primarily on complaints by political participants in the elections and their affiliates. We made it very clear that in any system, there are disadvantages to incumbency and advantages to incumbency. If an incoming government performed badly, did not fulfill its manifesto, then they are faced with a disadvantage of their poor performance. If they had to manage, like we did, in a period of COVID, in 2 national floods, in a period where the world had its highest food prices, highest transportation costs, in an environment in which active participation to buy votes by a political party, and by the way, this is a nationally recognized fact. And nowhere in the report did they mention this.
He also said there are both positives and negatives to incumbency, and his party's success at the elections was based on its performance. In the report, the EU Election Observer Mission said Guyana needs to adopt clear and comprehensive campaign rules, including for the conduct of public officials and for the use of all types of state assets to avoid undue advantage of incumbency. Its recommendation was based on the use of state resources to fuel the incumbent party's election campaign, including the commissioning of schools and other facilities. According to the mission, the lines became blurred during the elections campaign. But President Ali said the government was simply making good on its commitment to the people.
We had schools, we had hospitals, we had health centers, we had roads to be opened throughout the period, to be commissioned. That's not an incumbency advantage. That is a commitment that the government made in its manifesto of 2020 to 2025 that the incumbent would have delivered on. And the incumbent has a duty and responsibility like any other country in the European Union. In the European Union, governments campaign on their delivery. Government campaign on their results. And these hospitals, these schools, these roads, the subsidy to our rice farmers, they were all results of the People's Progressive Party civic government. Is the report saying that incumbency, as part of incumbency, must not include campaigning and celebrating the successes of the government? What nonsense is that?
The president questioned how the playing field could have been made uneven by the mere execution of the government's role and responsibilities and the administration of this year's budget. According to him, the report lacks analysis, where it criticizes the PPP civic and the use of state resources, including the state media. He said from all indications, the 2025 elections were well managed by the Elections Commission and its secretariat.
The voting, counting, and tabulation, three of the most important components of a free and fair elections, were efficient and professional. That is to say, free from influence, free from bias, and demonstrated, those figures would have demonstrated the will of the people.
President Ali noted that the report also pointed to improved transparency in the electoral process as a result of legal and procedural reforms. According to him, the 2022 electoral reforms consolidated laws and introduced over 100 technical improvements, including the digital publication of the statements of polls. He said while the report pointed to the election taking place in an environment of deep political polarization, it is a fact that the election was transparent and the distrust was largely as a result of the scar left from 2020 and the alleged attempt at electoral fraud. The president said his government is taking additional steps to further enhance the laws governing the electoral process in the country and will address issues such as campaign financing and constitutional reform. More news coming up in just a moment.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch. Even one word. I can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Every year somebody wins, but this year?
This year is my turn.
I'm going big. 48,000? Easy. That's 6 coupons.
Smart and fast. My win is just a scan away. Oh, and I take in that fridge too.
This is the winning one.
This year, the win is mine.
Shop $8,000 or more at any 6 Massey stores, and you'll get a chance to win our grand prize, the brand new 2025 Hyundai Creta, plus amazing consolation prizes. Massey stores, our family serving your family.
Ready to position your brand at the heart of the region's most influential energy event? The Guyana Energy Conference and Supply Chain Expo invites you to become a sponsor and connect directly with leaders shaping the future of energy and industry. Choose from 4 powerful tiers: Platinum, Diamond, Gold, and Silver. As a sponsor, your brand takes center stage, from live press conferences and magazine features to exclusive speaking opportunities and top-tier visibility across every major platform. Enjoy premium exhibition booths, media coverage, and access to hundreds of industry professionals and decision makers. Whether you want to lead discussions, host networking events, or elevate your brand presence, sponsorship puts your company at the forefront of opportunity and innovation.
Let's tell you now that 2 opposition-nominated GECOM commissioners, Vincent Alexander and Desmond Trotman, have complained that the chairman of the Guyana Elections Commission, retired Justice Claudette Singh, has decommissioned the 6-member commission without consultation. They are now calling for her to step down. In a release, the commissioners stated that they believe the commission was disbanded by the chairman so that she can avoid accountability. They contend that their query before the Commission about disenfranchisement of some categories of workers from voting in the September general and regional elections, as well as the chairman's failure to provide the election results report before the Commission as mandated by law, might have triggered the chairman's decision to shut the Commission down. They said the worst has since eventuated, adding that the chairperson has since unilaterally decommissioned the Commission. They said she's avoiding to being held accountable for the infringement, and that she determined that the commissioners who inquired about those infringements were no longer commissioners, and as such the commission was not duly constituted based on her interpretation of Article 163 of the Constitution. The commissioners noted that the chairman has no authority to decommission the Elections Commission. They said her act of omission, not presenting the regional results to the commission and not publicly declaring any of the results, preceded the finalization of the results and cannot be excused on the grounds that the commission was not properly constituted. They said if her interpretation of Article 163 is proven to be right, then by the same token by which she unilaterally seeks to dismiss the commissioners, she should demit office and not unilaterally preside over GECOM. However, the commissioners contend that GECOM's report for the elections 2025 should be presented to the incumbent commissioners, as well as they should conduct the evaluation of the elections. The chairperson of GECOM has been reportedly contending that with the new makeup of the opposition in parliament, she believes the new opposition leader should be allowed to nominate new commissioners. However, since a new parliament has been convened, there has been no meeting as yet to elect an opposition leader. The EU Election Observer Mission in its 2025 report on the Guyana elections said women had a strong presence at the elections, with 2 women contesting the elections as presidential candidates. The report explained that the legal framework supports women's political participation through special measures. According to the report, 43% of the candidates on the national top-up list submitted by the 6 political parties that contested the elections were women, while 51% of the RDC candidates were women. In the National Assembly, women make up 38.5% of the members of parliament, a 3.2% increase when compared to 2020, while women account for 61.3% of the seats in the RDCs. The chief observer, Robert Bidron, lauded the progress made, but said there are still gaps in existing issues that must be addressed.
Guyana has made notable progress on women's political participation. Special measures contributed to high levels of women's representation among candidates at both national and regional levels, including 2 presidential contenders. Women also played a strong role in GECOM leadership and in across public life. Yet, there is still space for more transparency in party approaches to gender equality. Also, online abuse targeting women politicians and activists shows that stronger safeguards against gender-based online harassment are very much needed.
In the case of the indigenous peoples, the EOM found that the indigenous people in Guyana, who account for 10 to 15% of the country's population, remain an important electorate, with 6 indigenous leaders elected to serve in the National Assembly, including 1 cabinet appointee. It was noted that while indigenous people actively participate in politics, they too face numerous challenges.
Indigenous peoples are an important electorate but continue to face obstacles related to distance, access to information, and socio-economic dependence on state support. We also receive reports that opposition parties had more restricted access to some villages than the ruling party.
It was further explained that while Tushals often contributed positively to inclusive campaigning, there were reports of opposition parties being blocked from accessing certain villages under the Amerindian Act compared to the ruling party. Under the 2006 Amerindian Act, physical access to indigenous villages required prior authorization. And based on reports received, the Election Observer Mission said the act was used to bar parties such as the We Invest in Nations Party, the APNU, and even the Alliance for Change and Forward Guyana from campaigning in certain villages, while the ruling PPP was given undue advantage. Meanwhile, the Election Observer Mission found that persons with disabilities in the country are in the number of around 24,000, and they continue to face significant barriers to equal electoral participation due to failure to effectively enforce the laws. The Election Observer Mission said representative organizations highlighted how low compliance with accessibility standards. According to the report, recommendations for ramps and tactile ballots were not implemented before Election Day. It said while the laws provide for proxy voting or voting with assistance, there were concerns that there was limited information on the use of those options. Based on the polling stations observed by the EU across the country, some 59% did not provide independent access for persons with reduced mobility, and 32% of the polling stations had unsuitable layouts for those voters.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
Washi. Hi people. Washing made so easy since I found Washi. Washing me use wash me clothes and I can say Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder leave me clothes smelling nice, of course. So give thanks to Washi soap powder for doing my laundry right. Keep my clothes color bright. Have my clothes smelling nice for sure. I could not ask for more. Comes in lemon and original. It is a washing machine in a pack. Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder have my clothes smelling nice, of course.
Distributors located in the Stabrook Market.
Your business is built on hard work, vision, and the drive to succeed. At GBTI, we understand what it takes to grow. That's why we offer Grow, a small business service designed to help your business expand, adapt, and reach its full potential. From new opportunities to new milestones, we're here to support you every step of the way. Grow from GBTI. Progress starts here.
Hi, my name is Stephen Jacobs, Minister within the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport. Health and fitness is the heart of a strong nation. And when we have strong Guyanese citizens, it helps with discipline and also productivity, and also a long-lasting life for you. So, for that reason, I'm endorsing the Energy Conference run on the 15th of February 2026. See you there.
In the health sector tonight, there is a growing trend of chronic kidney disease in the country that is keeping health officials worried, as more than 500 new patients were put on dialysis over the last 5 years alone. That's according to the chairman of the Guyana Human Organ and Tissue Transplant Agency, Dr. Shanti Singh Anthony. Announcing the findings of a recent study conducted by the agency on chronic kidney disease, Dr. Anthony said from 2020 to present, cases of chronic kidney disease in the country rose sharply.
So in 2020, there were 63 persons receiving dialysis in the country. In 2021, that doubled to 129 persons. In 2022, 326 persons. In 2023, 428, and as of yesterday of 2025, in 2024, 556, and as of yesterday of this year, more than 600 people.
Diabetes has been highlighted as the main cause of the chronic kidney disease, while other risk factors include smoking, elevated blood pressure, and not meeting the World Health Organization's threshold of daily physical activities. Dr. Singh Anthony told the forum that 67% of the population that was surveyed had 1 to 2 risk factors, and 33% of those people had 3 to 5 risk factors, which means that the risk for chronic non-communicable kidney disease is significant.
And so the number of people that are being placed on dialysis are going back. The number of persons that are being diagnosed with CKD is on the rise, and you can see from the numbers, and hence the increasing number of patients on dialysis.
Meanwhile, the CEO of the Human Organ and Tissue Transplant Agency, Dr. Sondia Gordon, said the survey was done to better understand both patients and caregivers of chronic kidney disease, and hopes that the findings will help not only in decision making for patients, but prevention as well.
The findings and recommendation, we hope, will inform our efforts to improve patient care, education, and support, as well as our strategies to promote kidney transplantation and organ donation here in Guyana.
The study, titled The Silent Epidemic: Understanding Chronic Kidney Disease and Hemodialysis, will now guide the work of the Organ Transplant Agency on the allocation of resources and attention to deal with chronic kidney disease. Boasting that Georgetown has been going through massive improvements, Public Works Minister Juan Edghill has announced that the government will soon embark on a major upgrade to several major roads in and around the city to ensure the smooth traffic flow and improve connectivity. Appearing on the Starting Point podcast, Mr. Edghill said his ministry is involved in a program to get things done quickly, especially roadworks in Georgetown.
If you go down Brick Dam right now, you would recognize that it is failing in various sections, and that has to do with the volume and the heavy trucks that are going through there. And a contract has been awarded for the fixing of Brick Dam. Church Street is being addressed. North Road is being addressed. Thomas Lands, you see we are making the expansion in Thomas Lands from Camp Street all the way to Vicinjon Road. That part of Vicinjon Road is getting ready soon to be paved, and then the difference between Queen's College and Camp Street will be undertaken. It's part of the same contract, but you have to keep the roads open so that while you're working, people still have access to the schools, to the other facilities in the area. So you have to work in a strategic way.
Additionally, the minister said both sides of Carifessa Avenue are set to be expanded. He noted that roads in places such as Agricola, West Rheinveld, Lodge, Wortmanville, and Old Boystown, among others, were done by the ministry's maintenance crew.
Georgetown will look different. In the past, before we came to office, potholes on streets were a thing that you could anticipate everywhere you go. The road maintenance in Georgetown has been so aggressive that people are complaining about too much work being done because they have to make a diversion.
According to Minister Edghill, the development in the city is due to careful planning and is part of a broader initiative.
When you look at Georgetown, everything is not done. The market still needs to be fixed. We still have dilapidated buildings that needs to be properly addressed, I guess, by household homeowners or property owners or City Hall, because where you have lands that are filled with bush, City Hall under there, 2801, can clean the land and charge it as rates and taxes to the property owner.
The Ministry of Public Works received billions of dollars in this year's budget for several road projects across the country. On the police blotter tonight, the body of a 38-year-old West Coast Demerara woman who was last seen alive last Friday was found on Sunday at the Stewartville seawall. However, she was only positively identified today, according to a police report. In a statement this afternoon, the Guyana Police Force said the body of Chandini Pasad, also known as Savi, was positively identified earlier today by a close friend. A tattoo on her body was the main identifying mark. The police said the body was swollen and partly decomposed, but there were no visible marks of violence and no foul play is suspected at this time. However, a post-mortem examination is to be conducted on Friday to ascertain a cause of death. Friends of the woman launched a massive search for her over the weekend after she could not have been located and no one could provide any information about her whereabouts. Flyers and posters were shared across the region, and it was reportedly late yesterday that friends received information about the body of a woman being at a funeral home in the Region 3 area awaiting identification. The area where the woman's body was discovered at the Stewartville seawall is also being re-examined for possible clues. Some friends have explained to investigators that the woman reportedly suffered from bouts of depression.
In Guyana, roads don't give you a break, and neither should your truck. That's why there's the Isuzu D-Max, built with turbo diesel power, high clearance, and 4x4 control that owns the off-road. It's strong, smart, and tough enough for any job. The Isuzu D-Max is more than a pickup. It's your ultimate working partner. Available at Marix. the authorized Isuzu dealer. Call 226-1306 for more details. Isuzu D-Max, master of all roads.
Your business is built on hard work, vision, and the drive to succeed. At GBTI, we understand what it takes to grow. That's why we offer Grow, a small business service designed to help your business expand, adapt, and reach its full potential. From new opportunities to new milestones, we're here to support you every step of the way. Grow from GBTI. Progress starts here.
Something new has been growing, and it's now ready for you to pick.
Fresh.
Taste the fruit of freshness. Pick the fresh new 200 ml size today. Live fruitiful.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyana is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyana's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyana has now repositioned itself as market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
Make this Christmas happen for everyone this year with Republic Bank. Make this Christmas happen with Republic Bank this year.
Across the region tonight, let's begin in Jamaica, where the government of Jamaica has determined that it will use pre-built containerized modular solutions as it seeks to rapidly rebuild the housing stock destroyed by Hurricane Melissa. Jamaican Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness told a press conference yesterday that the National Housing Trust is to purchase 5,000 of the container homes in the initial stage, some of which it will sell to individuals, while some are to be used to build housing schemes. The Prime Minister said a portion will be allocated for free distribution through the government's social housing program. The Prime Minister also said the government will be purchasing some of the homes to be distributed as social housing. He noted that it will take time to bring enough containers into the island to make a significant impact, but stated the procurement process has already started. The Prime Minister announced that shipping alone could take between 30 to 90 days. In Trinidad, the Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander says the presence of U.S. warships and Marines in the country's territorial waters and the wider region has stopped gun and illegal drug traffickers in their tracks, something he says he is grateful for. He said the presence of the U.S. in international waters continues to benefit the people of Trinidad and Tobago because now persons are hesitating. He said there is great hesitation in persons bringing in guns, illegal drugs, and performing the act of human trafficking. His praise for the U.S. followed similar commendation from both the Prime Minister and the Commissioner of Police in Trinidad, who credited U.S. military action against suspected narco-traffickers in the region with a decrease in the trafficking of illegal guns and drugs, as well as a reduction in serious crimes in Trinidad and Tobago. The minister's comments came after 2 warships were spotted in the Gulf of Paria on Tuesday, within Trinidad and Tobago's territorial waters. And finally tonight, international news. U.S. President Donald Trump's decision to designate an alleged drug cartel that the U.S. links to Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro as a foreign terrorist organization provides the Pentagon with a range of new options, U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has said. On Sunday, the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the U.S. would designate the Cartel de los Soles a foreign terrorist organization, which makes it a crime for anyone in the U.S. to provide material support to the group. Hegseth spoke with One American News, and in excerpts released on Thursday was quoted as saying the designation brings a whole bunch of new options to the United States. He said Maduro is not a legitimately elected leader of Venezuela, and repeated accusations that Maduro is involved in drug trafficking. Maduro has denied such involvement. It is unclear when the interview took place, but it is being aired this evening. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to have a safe and enjoyable night.